Wow. I was wondering if you could take us through the evolution of this company. I mean, you're no spring chicken for Busuu. You've been there over 6 years, right?
Yeah, exactly. Time flies.
It's
Yeah.
nice to see because a lot of people think a startup is all about the quick flip after 2 years. And I think I saw a
Doesn't
video.
happen.
It doesn't happen, right? And I think I saw a video where you were saying if you go in for the quick flip, then you'll never get it because those aren't the kind of people that build big companies.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you have to want to do it. But walk us through what has Busuu done and what are you looking to do in the future?
Yeah. So basically we started the company in 2008 after doing an MBA at IE Business School. So I was before in management consulting, wanted to have a break of that, went to do an MBA at this business school and met there my co-founder Adrian, who has a technological background. So at the Random Network event, we met up there. He had this idea of language learning online. I was looking for a team to join. And in the business school, there was quite a strong focus on entrepreneurship. So basically throughout the MBA, you were supposed to write business plans and develop the idea. And we met throughout the year and liked really this idea of how we can revolutionize the way people learn languages. Because if you face it, over the last 10 years, the only real innovation in language learning had been maybe a CD-ROM. The rest, we're always learning a language exactly the same. So we felt, especially at that time, Facebook was coming strongly into Europe. If there is a smart way of using technology and this whole concept of a social community to learn languages. So developed the concept as part of our MBA. Pitched it at the end, didn't get a very good grade on that, but still decided to go forward. And whereas all our colleagues went to London to become bankers for Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan, we decided to stay in Spain and founded the company right after graduation. So in 2008, we founded the company. We developed the business with a very small team. So as it was 2008 and 2009, it was quite difficult to raise funds because it was right in the middle of the Lehman Brothers crisis. So a lot of the funds we met at that time didn't want to give us the money. So we decided, okay, we just do it with our own money. And went on the bootstrap trip. So we were only a team of 4 or 5 people, and very lean approach, always very careful of where we're spending our money. And we grew the business with a few angel rounds to then nearly 10, 15, 20 million users. And in 2012, when actually the whole economic situation in Spain wasn't that great, big economic crisis, strikes on the streets, it was not a very good environment to have a high-growth startup. We decided to exchange the sunny tapas for the rainy pines and took the whole company and the whole team and moved them over to London.
After your financing round?
After the financing round, okay. Exactly.
Well,
Don't do it before, because otherwise
it's too expensive.
It's actually too expensive.
Was that an obvious move, something that everyone was thinking you had to? Or because it must get comfortable hanging out in Madrid. I mean, you got everything you want.
Well, that's the thing. Like with hindsight, we should have done it a few years earlier. So I believe we would be now in a complete different situation if we had moved early on. So we really tried to scale the business and to scale our team. But I think that's a big difference. And now getting to know the London tech scene also more, you realize how wonderful this ecosystem is, how big it is, how much talent you have in this city. And that's not easy to replicate. There are probably a few places in the world, and obviously in the US and maybe in Israel and then London and maybe a bit in Berlin. But in all the other countries, it's very difficult to replicate such an ecosystem because you might have only maybe 10 startups which have come to a considerable size, whereas here in London you might have 50 or even 100 which are bigger, and therefore you can get access to a lot of knowledge. So we tried to do it in Madrid, couldn't find iOS developer or Android developers. The knowledge wasn't there at that time. Everyone was studying law or business, and you maybe had only 2 or 3 other startups doing something in that area. So we said, let's just move it out. And we considered New York, we considered Berlin, and we considered London. And at the end of the day, we came out with London as a clear winner and took this decision, which obviously was an important one. We cut down completely operations, took the team of around 10 people, had a big moving van with over 200 moving boxes. Everyone had to find new apartments. Some people took their kids from the kindergarten from Madrid to one here in London. We had to set up our operations completely from scratch, so no office, no lawyers, no tax advisors, it was really literally beginning nearly from scratch, just with a website which was still up and running, and a bunch of very motivated people. And then here we are.
That's a story.